Welcome to Talking Heads on USA Global TV, starring the one and only wonderful Dr. JACALYN. It's a prestigious place where world-class influencers and experts meet, and where you'll find the most trusted advisors and coaches for all things in life and business. Visit usaglobaltv.com to sign up for our newsletter, get the value you need, and be first in line to learn about events and giveaways and other valuable content. Connect with us. Email Dr. JACALYN at usaglobaltv.com to talk about how you can become part of USA Global TV. That's USA Global TV, where the doctor is always in.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to USA Global TV and Radio. I'm Dr. JACALYN KERBECK, and our show today is the Mallorca Connection. Joining me for this show and every show that we have for the Mallorca Connection is my friend, mentor. He's also the co-host, as you know, of this show. He is the moderator and host of a new show for men, which we'll talk about also. And he is also an expert presenter on our Talking Heads platform, and he's an elevated listener. All of this means you need to get to know this man because he leads his life with his heart open. He's always there to help other people, and all the expertise and experience he has had in his life, he shares with us here on this platform and in his everyday world. Let's welcome Mr. ROLAND FRIEDL to the program. Hi, ROLAND.
Hello, Dr. JACALYN. Great to see you again.
Nice to see you as well. And for our audience who's just joining us, maybe from our new radio platforms, where is it in the world you are now?
Well, right now, actually, let's start from there. I've been living the last 14 years on a beautiful island in Spain, in Mallorca. And since the 1st of April, I moved into my RV full-time. Not forever, but just for, I don't know, maybe a year and a half. And I'm traveling around Europe, broadcasting from the most beautiful spots in the world, doing trainings and seminars for that. And right now, I'm in Germany, northwest, more or less, close to Düsseldorf.
Fantastic. And I've said this so many times before. I really appreciate that in your schedule, traveling around, that you make sure that you have Wi-Fi and that you're able to connect and be with us. That just shows the level of professionalism you have and your commitment to our platform. And I personally appreciate that.
Thank you. That's my attitude. Whatever thing I do, I show up. Doesn't matter where and how and when, I'm there.
And we see that. So thank you again. And right after this show, we have our Talking Heads and episode, which is your show. So you'll be back right after this show. We've got a great guest backstage as well. Before we bring him out, I want to spotlight you, ROLAND. And if you could just share with our audience, there's so many offerings that you have for people, and I would just love for you to touch on them so people know how you can work with them and how you can help them.
Yes, thank you. Hello, everyone, wherever you are joining us from. My name is ROLAND, and as you can hear from my accent, I'm not a native from English or American speaker. I'm raised and born in a small country in Austria, in the middle of Europe, small and beautiful. And yeah, my background, just school, university, then I was in the corporate world. I had a very fast career there. I was in marketing, in sales, very successfully became a manager. And very, very soon, actually the youngest member of board of director of a huge company. So I had a very fast career. I had an amazing income. But at the same time, I had a young family with 3 little boys. Actually, they're raised already now. And I had absolutely no time for them. So actually, when I came home from the office, late nights or the weekends, I was so exhausted that I didn't really be aware that I'm not really present there. I was there, but not present because I was so exhausted. And so I came to a point in my life where I said, no, that's not what I want for me and my family. So I quit the corporate world. I started my own businesses in different fields and different areas and different industries because I always tried out different stuff. I'm very eager to learn, to meet other people, to learn something new. And this is my background. I'm always learning. I always say I'm a lifetime student, whatever I do. Even when many people call me in the area that know me, I'm an expert in this, an expert in this. Yes, but I'm still saying I'm a lifetime learning student. And some people say, you have such a broad experience, such a broad skill set. Where does this come from? It's almost unbelievable. The point is, I've always been working all the time, as I said, in different areas. I was always quick learning and understanding complex processes and stuff. And to be honest, I never owned a TV set. So it's for the first time for me, as I joined USA Global TV on streaming TV, but I never had a TV set. I never said, sorry for that, but I never wasted time to see some Hollywood movies or whatever you want to call it, bad news or manipulated news. So I just was learning, working, learning. That is my path. So I had a lot of experience. And from this, I was approached by a huge company, still my company, still one of my clients, actually almost 30 years ago. And I started to train their stuff worldwide in sales, in executives, in management, in HR, actually on all continents except Australia, by the way, because it speaks the language. And yeah, and from there, I was recommended to other companies. And so besides my business as a builder, a training consulting company, Spartner Performance Systems, and we call it Spartner. This comes from sparring. Maybe you know this term from boxing, yeah, to have a sparring partner, somebody, a body who prepares you for the fight. Maybe it's a tough word fight, but to be honest, when you're working in business or you run your own business, you know that it's rough times and it's even more challenging every year. So we prepare our clients not only with coaching, consulting, and training, but we see ourselves and my team as sparring partner to make them fit for all the challenges out in the market. And I guess we do it quite successfully. And from this, what happened is I met a lot of friends. Most of the executives became friends, close friends to us. And actually on the tour right now with my RV traveling Europe, to be honest, actually once, twice a week, I'm always invited in one of their houses for barbecue or whatever. So we really became close friends. And when we talk, not in a group, but face to face, when people open up and they say, hey, Roland, I'm successful in business, but to be honest, I'm empty. I drink too much, I eat too much or whatever. And I said, you know what? I can help you with that. So I founded a platform that's called Sparring for Men, where men meet twice a month in a safe, loving, full environment. And they share their emotions because men, are not used to, first of all, recognize their emotions, to name them, differentiate them, and talk about it. So we provide a platform where men can be men and talk about whatever is in their head, and they're not able to talk, in business because it seems to be weak when you talk about your emotion. They can't talk to their partners, and we know that men need other men to talk about it. So that's Sparring for Men, and I'm very happy and excited that we also bring a men's show, Wild at Heart, soon here on USA Global TV. A show by men, for men, about men. So I'm very, very happy about that because I strongly believe that men need this. They need these gatherings. Actually, we did thousands of years ago in our tribes come together in the evening or in the night, sitting around a fireplace and talk. So that's what we bring on the show soon. This bonfire talks, what we call Wild at Heart. And and last but not least, some people always ask me, Roland, you're always a world traveler. You're working and living from the most beautiful places in the world. I want to do the same. Maybe not just move to an island like Mallorca or Bali or to go to the mountains. Maybe I just want to work remotely from home, from my own terrace, from my own house. So I established another company that's called Wireless Life Rocks, where we coach people who want to become a more independent and free lifestyle, whatever it means to this person in particular. That's what we're doing.
Wow. Woo, that is quite a lot. Major accomplishments there. And you did touch on this, but can you just let our audience know, why do we have these boxing gloves here behind us?
Yeah, this comes from because the company's Spartner Performance System sparring. We use, when you go in a box fight or in a sparring, you have this boxing gloves. And that's what I always hear in the background when I work, just to remind my clients, we got real. We prepare you for the real world. Of course, in a safe environment. But I always say training is not a bunny hop. We really punch you, meaning that we really challenge you, because that's so important. To really, because out, there is competitors, there is the market, there are your customer, the changing environments, like we had the pandemic, or how in Europe right now we are facing the Ukraine conflict. They're always challenging. We're always distracted. And I strongly believe, and I also said this in one of my talking here sessions, the prime issue of a human being is control of attention. And we train this. We focus on that in our coaching, our training spirit, no matter what happens, because we all face challenges and distraction, but keep your attention. Keep your attention, your focus. And that's all about it. That's why we have this boxing gloves to remind myself, my teams, and my clients about stay focused, because otherwise the next punch will be really hard.
I love that. I actually took boxing lessons over the summer. I think it was about 5 years ago. And boy, that is a great workout and good eye-hand coordination. I was sad when the teacher stopped teaching it because I just loved it. So, but before we bring out our guests, I just want to mention something that's happening tomorrow, and you and I are both involved with it. So we have the launch of Adversity to Awesome, and I have a slide here. This is my first book, Behind the Green Screen, which this graphic has been updated. The book cover is updated to include the registered mark next to Dr. JACALYN and #1 Amazon best-selling author. And our book that's being released tomorrow is Adversity to Awesome, True Life Stories of Inspiration from Survivors of Imprisonment, Addiction, Sexual Assault, and more. And Roland has a chapter in the book. And Roland, I would love for you to just share just a little teaser about what people might learn about you, excuse me, just from a very high level.
Okay, I have a very clear, direct, quick and dirty conversation. Well, I went through all the shit. Actually, I think that's one of the secrets of my success when I work, especially in coaching, one-to-one coachings. I'm very real and authentic because I went through most of the shit that my clients are suffering. Yeah, I had traumas in my childhood. I had several challenges in my life. I know how to overcome this. Yeah, first of all, to be in and then to overcome this. And I also learned from one of my spiritual teachers was a nice lotus flower is only growing in mud, not on marble. So if you're really down, and I guess all the stories in the books from different perspectives and different backgrounds and histories, I guess it's all the same. All the people in this book, and like myself, we have been down, but we stood up. We didn't give up. We stood up. We didn't use whatever happened to us as an excuse for not going further, for not stepping ahead, for not continuing. Because unfortunately, a lot of people use whatever happened to them as an excuse. I said, no, there are no excuses. Just go for it. Doesn't matter how tough it was. Just go. Don't let the other person, don't let the other person win. It doesn't matter how strong we've been smashed, whatever happened, if it was a sexual abuse like happened to me, or the early death of my brother, whatever it was, don't ever give up. Life is there to challenge you. Life is there to challenge you and to learn and to grow. That's all about.
Fantastic. Thank you for sharing that. And in this book, Adversity to Awesome, there are actually 12 chapters. Roland has a chapter, I have a chapter, and then there are 10 other authors. And I interviewed each of the authors. We did it over Zoom, recorded what the author had to say, and then had it transcribed into words. And then my book coach, Retta Laughlin, and I transcribed those words into third person. Then it was sent back to the author for review and to sign a release. And then Red and I spent the last, I think, 3 weeks going through each chapter, making sure that there was continuity and flow, and then integrating the chapters together. So it's been quite a journey. And something I just wanted to add to that, Roland, is knowing that I have a chapter in there with my own adversity. I have an adversity right now, which I shared with you. And I just mention it because people come to make judgments or assumptions. My whole face is covered with filled with big sacks of fluid from eczema. And I debated, what should I do? So I put on a pair of glasses and here I am. So the bottom line is you show up, you just keep moving forward. You get out of your head and the stories that we tell ourselves. I'm not good enough. I don't look good enough, whatever it is, it's happening for a reason. And how you show up and how you deal with it says a lot about who you are and where you're going to go. So we all have a choice, and I chose to show up, and so did you, Roland.
Absolutely. And I want to add something, with all these different stories, actually, when people are reading it, just to read it and to relate to one of the stories, is the healing process already starts, because you're not alone. You're not because when you whatever happened to you, when you're suffering, you always feel, I am alone. It just happened to me. Why to me? And you feel like a victim. But when you read other stories and say, oh, no, this happened to other stories, I'm not alone. So this is the first step of the healing process. And then you start working on yourself. Maybe you bring somebody in, a coach or a therapist or whatever, and then you start the healing process. But it starts when you recognize you're not alone. You're not the only person that happened that.
Absolutely. And then something else just to share is that when you put your story out there like we have, there will be people who will judge it. There will be people who will judge me, who will judge you. And that's on them. That's on them. That's their business. We're sharing our story as a way to help others and as a way to move forward in our own journey. So we have a comment, and hello to Christine joining us from Vienna. Nice to have you with us, our partner for film and production. We're really thrilled to have you. And she's also a talking head. She will be presenting for the first time at 11 a.m. Eastern time on Friday. Cool. All right. Thank you so much, Christine. Let's talk about our guest. Our guest's name is Hiett Ives. I know Hiett now for well over a year. He's been on a number of our shows. He is an author of 2 books. He also is a business-to-business strategist. He's an expert when it comes to trade shows. He also has a very keen knowledge and understanding of the English grammar and how to take someone's book and really edit it so that it's at the highest level of professionalism. So he actually edited my first book and my second book. And he's here with us today. He's joined us from the great state of Texas to share with us his connections to the lovely island of Mallorca. So let's welcome him to the show, Hiett Ives. Hi, Hiett.
Hello, Hiett. Great to see you.
Nice to see you. We cannot hear you, but we can read lips. So okay, we cannot hear what you're saying, but we know you have some connections to Mallorca. So maybe while you get your sounds connected, we will take a commercial break. What are your thoughts on that, Roland?
Yeah, good idea. And it can fix the technologies.
Absolutely. Okay, so we're going to start off. I'm going to play 2 clips, and both clips are from other people who have chapters in our book, Adversity to Awesome. The first one is Paul Connolly. He has a movie that is either out in the UK or coming out very soon. It's called Big Boys Don't Cry, followed by Madeline Chan, who is an international award-winning singer, songwriter, and an author as well. So we'll take a look at her music video, and then we'll be back. All right, Big Boys Don't Cry.
That place. Those people.
I need to talk to you about your time growing up in St Leonard's Children's Home. 6 of your 8 housemates committed suicide, Mr. Connolly. I'm afraid I have to tell you that another child in your care home, Liam Carroll, has also recently taken his own life.
Jason. Andrew.
To find some people. I said get out! I've got to end them! Ah!
If you want to be spending the rest of your life in prison, boy, I'm happy to tell you what you need to know.
Ain't divided by your love. What you giving me is just not enough. I need a love to take me higher and higher.
this brick of this wall you put around your heart to protect yourself. That's really hard work, and I guess that's what men need. So I'm looking for sure. I want to see the movie, of course, and I also will share it in the men's group. And then I was happy to see Madeleine Jane singing here, because then my heart was jumping and bumping again. I know that she had a hard time too when I spoke to her, and she's an amazing singer and songwriter, and she made the best out of it. That's her how to say, her way to deal with that and to express their emotions. And I guess art is an amazing way to express emotions. Absolutely.
I agree with you. We actually have a show here on this platform, which is titled The Art of Creating Mental Health Wealth. And professional singers, songwriters, directors, poets, they come on and share how their life has been changed, been living with anxiety, mental illness, depression, and the arts are a creative way to express themselves. And what I think is interesting is that we can look at that clip, and we don't have to know Paul Connolly, but we get a pretty strong idea of what it is that he went through. And then to your point, when you talk about keeping our emotions locked in, or being told not to cry, we can see how when someone's in an environment like that, you would just shut down. You just keep everything locked in so tight. And that when that key goes into that hole is opened, everything starts flooding out, and it's really it's needed so much to help that person grow and deal with the trauma that they've had.
Of course, because all this emotions are very, very strong energy, and when you don't let it out, you have two options. This energy goes against other people. You're hurting other people, or you're hurting yourself.
Exactly.
This would happen. This would happen to many people, like myself too. I was hurting myself, and because I was hurting myself, I was hurting other people too. And I didn't realize it for a long, long time until I began my healing process. And yeah, it's so important, and so important. And men stand up and speak about the emotion and really let it out. It's an absolutely game changer. I can talk from my own perspective, from my own experience, but also from the experiences I heard from the guys, the boys in the chants in the men's group within. It really makes a difference in their lives, and also in the lives all people who are involved in with their beloved ones, their colleagues in business. It has an impact on every aspect in life. Absolutely.
Yes, it does. And I see our guest is backstage, so we're going to be bringing him out right now. Let's welcome Hiett Ives. Fingers crossed with the technology. He's joining our show. Hi, Hiett.
Hello there. How are you all?
Hi. It's
Hi.
nice to see you. We're glad we can hear you too.
Yes, I have had a challenge, shall we say, and hopefully I'll figure out what it was. But I am here, and have been enjoying visiting with you and listening to you.
Well, thank you very much. Hiett is also a team member here at USA Global TV and Radio. He's an elevated listener, so he's been certified through our elevated listening program. Hiett, for people who are just joining us for the first time who haven't met you, I'd love for you to share a little bit about your background, about the work that you do, and then we'll talk about your connection to Mallorca.
Okay, I am a business-to-business marketing communicator. I was educated in the British school system, and my first book is on the use and abuse of the English language. It's called That Ain't Not Right, the Use and Abuse of the English Language. And I'm also a professional in the business-to-business trade show world. I've done a number of those all over the world in a number of different verticals. So I am in business-to-business communications, written word as well as the spoken word.
And you're also a distinguished Toastmaster, correct?
Yes, ma'am. I have been. I just celebrated my 50th anniversary in Toastmasters, and Toastmasters was actually a job requirement. The first job I had here in Houston, I was on the professional staff of the Boy Scouts. I had to work with groups of people, and my boss said, "You're not very good with people. If you want to keep your job, go find a Toastmasters club." So I didn't know Toastmasters from Schmoastmasters. I found one. I was with the club, the first club, for some 15 years. and for whatever reason, it disbanded. And part of becoming a distinguished Toastmaster, you have to start another club. So I went to the club that I started, and I've been a member of there for 35 years. So I've got 50 years of Toastmastering under my belt, and I continue to do it, and will continue to do it, because it makes what I do on a regular basis look like I've been doing it all the time.
Well, congratulations. That's a huge accomplishment. And for
Absolutely.
people around the world who are not familiar with Toastmasters, what is that platform?
It is a communications and leadership platform. There are hundreds of them all over the world. Every major city has multiple clubs, and you learn to speak, to be evaluated, and to speak extemporaneously. Every meeting has 3 parts, and you participate on a regular basis in all 3 of them, and it just makes your ability to interact with people and to speak more professionally more professional.
Fabulous. Thank you so much, Hiett. Roland, since you're the expert on Mallorca, and I know some of Hiett's memories and connections, I'm going to turn it over to you to ask the first question about Mallorca.
Thank you. Hiett, before we ask you about Mallorca, I can very relate to trade fairs, because when I was a student, I was working on trade fairs, or B2B business and also
Yes.
B2C. I was selling a kitchen machine, actually one of the best kitchen machines in the world, to be honest, to the most famous cooks in the world and restaurants owners and hoteliers. And I did this because I refused to take my dad's money. So because he wanted to pay my university, like every month I returned the money to him. I wanted to do my way, to be really 100% independent. And I made my first million when I was 21 on trade shows. Yeah, I was selling kitchen machines like crazy. Trade shows. Anyway, it's just from the past. So I learned a lot about selling and stuff like that. So on trade shows, and I was traveling whole Europe. I was selling this bloody kitchen machine, and I still use it by myself. To be honest, I still use it. I still have it. Anyway, I had it in Mallorca too. So I don't know if you know, I have been living for 14 years on the island of Mallorca, and I just recently left it. Well, actually, didn't leave it. My stuff is still there in a garage. I just made a break from Mallorca because I want to challenge myself on traveling around Europe in my RV and work from there. So I'm really interested in what's your connection to Mallorca?
As I said, my father was career military, and we spent 4 years in the UK. And the last summer that we were there, we knew we were coming back in the fall. So my parents took us on, my 2 sisters and I, on a magical vacation. Now, one of their friends was a gentleman by the name of Temple Fielding, and he used to write the Fielding's travel guides to Europe. He's sort of the Rick Steed of his day, or Rick Steves of his day. And he had his own private villa in Palma, in Palencia, Puerto de Palencia, which is up in the northeast corner. Yeah. And he invited my parents and us down, and he told us to stay at the Hotel Formentor, which is right on the water, 5-star hotel. So we did. My parents got a room facing the water. My sisters and I got a room facing the mountain behind them. As it should be. And we visited Temple and his son, and up at his villa overlooking the bay. And about the 3rd morning we were there, my sisters and I run into our parents' room, and there's this great big aircraft carrier in the bay, and there's a cruiser. And it's the USS Saratoga aircraft carrier, and I forget the name of the cruiser. Well, they were changing out their sister ship, and they were doing the change of command ceremony. Well, of course, the admiral of the fleet knew Temple, and Temple said, "Well, General John Ives, head of the 3rd Air Force in the UK, is here. May he join us?" Well, I didn't appreciate it at the time, but of course, the last thing my father wanted to do on vacation was be military. But he acquiesced. So the admiral's yacht pulled up to the dock, and my parents and my sisters and I got on, and they held the ceremony on the flight deck of the USS Saratoga. So as a 14-year-old kid, I'm on the flight deck of the aircraft carrier. And 2 nights later, a rather large yacht, larger than all the rest, pulls into the harbor, and it turns out to be Prince Rainier and Grace Kelly, or Princess Grace by then.
Mm-hmm.
And they decided to have dinner that night on the patio of the Hotel Formentor. So we're down there having dinner as well. Of course, the house photographer is taking pictures, and my mother made sure that the angle that he took our family picture had Prince Rainier and Grace Kelly in the background. It was also the first place we flew from London to Barcelona, and then Barcelona to Palma. Mm-hmm. And of course, it doesn't go very high. That's a very short flight. And it's the first time I ever realized that, there are different colors underneath the water. And I was absolutely amazed, because I had a window seat, as we came in from the north, how the ocean changed colors. I mean, and brilliant, gorgeous colors. So I had a number of lessons, a lesson in biology, a lesson in psychology, and also experiences that very few 14-year-olds ever will have the experience to have. And I don't know that I'll ever make it back to Mallorca, but if I were given the opportunity to go back, I would.
Yeah, it will. First of all, it will look totally differently because it changed totally. I remember when I came there 14 years ago, it was different than I left last month. But I can tell you, actually, there are many different luxury hotels right now on the island, but Hotel Formentor is still, I guess, the most recognized and well-known. They just renovated it because, Charlie Chaplin was there and all the celebrities has been there. And it's a beautiful spot on this peninsula, what we call it, with the, how to call this, with this tower. Yeah, of course, Formentor,
Porto de Palencia.
Cap Formentor. It's a beautiful place there. They have a lovely small beach there. I love this place, absolutely.
Yep.
JACALYN, have you ever been to Mallorca?
I have not. I would love to go to Mallorca when you're back there. It sounds like it's truly amazing. My next trip is going to be to London. My fingers are crossed that I'll be there in November, so stay tuned.
Okay. Yeah, Mallorca is the best place to live in Europe.
Where in Mallorca are you, Roland?
Oh, I have been the first 6.5 years. I've been southwest. In it's called Sol de Mallorca. Actually, it was a very posh place with all these rich people around. They call it the Beverly Hills of Mallorca. And then I moved to a finca to Ucmayor because it was more down to earth and less posh and more Mallorquin and more Spanish. Yeah. So I went to Ucmayor on a huge finca with 55 hectares of land, and was nice too.
Yeah.
Sounds
it's always nice when you visit and when you're in some place to be with the locals. I said we were in the UK for 4 years. After the first year, my father put me in a Jesuit boarding school and put my 2 sisters in an Ursuline Academy boarding school. Well, after a year, my 2 sisters they said, "Get us the blank out of here," and they spent the next 2 years going to an American school. They were simply American transplants. They did American studies and American, but I chose to stay 3 years at a Jesuit boarding school, and I became a Brit. And some of my best friends are British. In fact, my number one client right now is a Brit marketing particular British technology here in the U.S., and I'm having a blast with him.
Yeah. Yeah, we have a lot of British people. Actually, Mallorca is very famous for the Germans one, but they're not the majority. Actually, it's British people and more British people, and we have a lot of frozen Scandinavians that moved down to the island. We're seeking the sun.
And Roland, it looks like you've had a little sun yourself.
Yes, I have a huge background in nutrition, and I know a lot about vitamins and phytochemicals. That's I always chase the sun to get vitamin D production in my body because I know it's so important. So whenever I can sit outside in a garden or whatever and work outside or yeah, and the forest on the lake. I'm always out in the sun. Not too much, not too much, not to get a sunburn. It's not good enough, but at least 20 minutes to get a little bit sun and produce vitamin D.
Yeah, you look very healthy. I went for a walk today with a giant hat and a long sleeve jacket, giant sunglasses, not getting any sun. So I guess I need to change that up. But we're going to take a break and we'll be back shortly. Stay with us here on USA Global TV and Radio. We'll be right back.
Take a moment.
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 So I've had the privilege of photographing some incredible people over the years, and during each shoot I've asked the subject to close their eyes and take themselves to a peaceful place just for a few seconds. I've found that this really helps to refresh the energy between the camera and the subject. They had an energy that was quite special and quite different from the rest of the shoot. The collection grew, and now it feels the right time to use it for something good. I think it'd be amazing if we could help to raise awareness and involve people in the discussion about mental health. So what we're asking to do is for everyone to upload their own self-portraits. All of these portraits will become part of a massive artwork. I'm really excited to see this project go from hundreds of pictures to thousands of pictures. Essentially, an ever-evolving artwork that says we're all in this together.
Close your eyes and take a moment.
Kapayapaan, kapayapaan, kapayapaan.
Diane Floyd Bame's A Song of Peace tells the story of a young lad named Tommy whose fervent wish for peace on earth touches the hearts of his friends and family, spreads to his community, and eventually unites the whole world around making his dream of peace a reality for everyone. Sit down with the children in your life and share Tommy's amazing story of love and hope. Sing your own song of peace and invite the children to join you. Tommy's tale is more than just a story. It's a movement, and everyone's warmly welcome to take part.
Kapayapaan, 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 kapayapaan.
You'll find A Song of Peace, along with many other wonderful learning and enriching opportunities for children of all ages, at DianeFloydBame.com.
And welcome back to USA Global TV and Radio. I'm Dr. JACALYN KERBECK, and my co-host and friend for this program, he's always my friend, but he's the co-host for this program, is Mr. Roland FRIEDL. Let's bring him back. Hello.
Hello. Thanks for that.
It's all a matter of where we put our words and how we use our words, correct?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And our guest today, who knows all about words and all about grammar and all about editing, Mr. Hiett Ives. Welcome back to the show, Hiett.
Thank you, ma'am.
Hiett, a question I have for you, which is not about Mallorca, but I think this can be really instrumental in helping other people. What do you typically find in your role as an editor that people make mistakes or they use words incorrectly? One thing that I learned from you is the use of the word that. that is a non-word. It can be eliminated. And when Red O'Loughlin and I were going through this book, Adversity to Awesome, there were so many uses of the word that, we just took them all out. Bye, 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 bye. What else have you found?
There's another word that you can take out, that you can take out almost 100% and not have to make any other changes. And it makes the same statement stronger. In fact, I wrote one long sentence that had, I think, 7 that's in it, and then rewrote it without the that's, and it made, a whole lot more sense. The other word that you can take out is the word will, W-I-L-L. It's a future tense word, as opposed to it will do the same thing that does. In about 85% of the cases, you just take the word will out, and it will make, I will give you this. I give you this. I will make this happen. I make this happen. Sometimes, in about 15% of the cases, you have to change a couple of other words, put an S after them or something. But literally, the next time you see a sentence that is written in the future tense with the word will, just cover the word will or take it out, and you're going to find that it is the sentence is much stronger. In fact, what I make an effort to do is write in the present tense and second person. Now, we've all been told you don't start a sentence with the word I. I do this, I do that. Well, most companies on their websites do exactly that. The XYZ company does this. The ABC company gives you this. I give you this. I give you this. So you want to eliminate the I approach. I could say to you, I could give you 4 things. Or I could say, when you choose to use my services, here are 4 things that you are going to get. Well, which is more appealing? Which are you more likely to listen to?
Much stronger. The last one was much stronger.
Absolutely.
Yes, thanks for sharing that. I have another question for you. When I was writing my doctoral dissertation, I had to rewrite it 118 times. I remember that number, 118. That's how specific my mentor and the committee members were about the choice of words. So here's my question. I'm 59. I keep thinking I'm 58, but no, 59. And growing up, I was taught to use big words and long sentences. And in my corporate career that I retired from in 2020, I worked for younger people, and everything should be shortened as though it were the number of characters in a Twitter post. What are your thoughts on that?
I will give you a perfect example. I worked for the president of a private company who sent out quarterly 1-page, 3-paragraph letters with a report. I was tasked to write 8 of those over a 2-year period. And I didn't know him very well when I started, and you could have wrung blood out of the first 3. I mean, they came back and they came back and they came back. In fact, number 5, he had signed off on it and it was already in production. And he came to me, he said, I want to change 1 word. And I said, Bill, I could be really mad at you if you weren't so darn right, because these weren't frivolous words. It was a meaningful word. Well, letter number 8. We were already getting ready to part company, and this was my last major assignment. And I was walking the letter to his office, saw him and one of his vice presidents, who happened to be a family member, in the foyer of the company. I handed it to the president. He looked at it, he read it, and he handed it back to me and said, run with it. Vice president said, I've never, ever seen him do that. And he had known him for all his life. So the answer to your question is, write to the audience that you are writing to. Some may require longer, more detailed wording. Others may require shorter, succinct wording. But whatever, and what you write to one may have to differ from that you write for another.
Thank you. That's very helpful. I know in this book, Adversity to Awesome, I said I'm a stickler for these words. Everything has to flow just so. And I think, to your point, it depends about your reader, your listener, your audience, whomever that is, and you tailor your work to the audience.
Well, and in editing that, the first book that I edited for you, that was you talking, whereas the stories in the second book are in your subject's language. So my sticklerness for grammar was set aside. I concentrated on making sure the message was getting through, that the flow was correct. Was the grammar correct? Not always. And sometimes it was, I had to cringe, the old fingernails on the chalkboard kind of thing. But it was coming from them, and it yeah, you go, exactly. It was appropriate for that story, and some got graded more heavily, but basically that second book was more flow and organization versus the grammatical correctness that I did on your book.
Thank you for sharing that. And it's been great working with you, and people should reach out to you to have their books edited. Hi, what is the best way for people to get in touch with you for trade shows, or whether it's to do editing, maybe it's to understand how to be a Toastmaster? How would you like people to contact you?
Hiett at hiettives.com, and you've got the spelling there, HIETT at HIETTIVES.com, or call me at 832-372-6900. That's 832-372-6900. You can find me on LinkedIn and Facebook, but I prefer the phone call. That's my cell phone, and you can email me or what's the other word?
Text you.
Thank you.
Text.
Senior moment. My apologies.
We're all a team
that
here.
Thing where that thing where you use your fingers.
Yes, texting. All right. Thank you so much for being here, Hiett. We really appreciate it.
My pleasure. Roland,
all the best, Hiett.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
See you again. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye, Hiett. Bye.
Roland, we have to close out because your Talking Head series is coming up. So I'm going to spotlight you. How would you like people to get in touch with you?
Yes, the best way is what I call go to my main website, because from there you can choose whatever you need or want to learn or hear about it. Go to my main website. It's just my name, rolandfriedl.com. I will spell you when you're on the radio. It's ROLANDFRIEDL.com. Yeah, get in touch with me. I'm always interested in where you're coming from, where you want to head to, what triggers you, what challenges you, what are your dreams, your visions. Yeah, let's talk.
Roland, do me a favor, please, and tell our audience about this incredible workshop that you have put together, and we will be facilitating in this month, I think later in this month, and then also in June.
Yeah, on the 14th of May and then in June. Yeah, we brought a workshop together about making our team members or the guys ladies who want to join us on USA Global TV to be more professional in broadcasting in head of a camera, to be more firm. Have to using the right words, speech. Speed, loudness, preparing. It's all about being more professional and outstanding in front of a camera. Not as an actor, don't misunderstand, not an actor, but just broadcasting more professional with more fun. Because what I see, there's so many experts are out there with an amazing experience and skill set and expertise, but we have to train them to bring it to the audience so the audience can follow it and listen it and understand it.
Very true. Thank you. And I'm pleased to have accomplished 1,500 interviews since I started on this platform. And something that always, I don't want to say shocks me, I'm trying to find a better word, but causes me to take a step back when I interview someone and they are in their bedroom and their clothes piled up. I just interviewed someone who's extremely accomplished and successful, and the bathroom door was open. We could see everything right there. And I thought, okay, automatically your credibility goes from here down to here. It's almost as though you don't have enough respect for yourself, that you want the whole world to see that this is how you live. And I just am so happy that we're doing this workshop so that people can learn the skills that they need to be in the most professional and showing up in the most authentic way. Whether you're here or you're somewhere else, anywhere you are in life, it's all about how you show up.
Absolutely. But the point is, some people are so focused on the expertise, they forget about surrounding noise, or even worse, about the background. And there have been actually the last 2 years when remotely working became more popular, or people have been forced to work remotely because of the pandemic. We had so many fun stuff. We saw people. Actually, in Spain, it was a huge scandal. There was a very famous TV presenter, and he was doing the news from home. He actually was married, but in the background you could see his naked girlfriend crossing a picture and stuff like that. So guys, not only when you only have a shirt and no pants on, don't get up, but also be aware about the background.
Oh my goodness. Well, that's the way we're going to close out this show.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone, for being here. Roland's Talking Head episode is coming up right after this. What will you be discussing today in your presentation?
Today we're talking about what I call the negative content loop. So when yourself or your team members are distracted and they're not performing well, they're not on task, then we call it they're in a negative content loop. And I will explain today how to find out that you yourself are in a negative content loop, or your team members, how you recognize it, and how to get out of it.
Perfect. All right. Thank you so much. I'll let you go get ready, and I'll see you in the other studio.
Thank you so much. See you later.
See you later. Thank you to each and every one of you who are watching our shows, who are listening to our shows, who are guests on our shows, who are interested in joining our platform. We are so thrilled and so appreciative. I personally, every night when I go to sleep and I say my prayers, I am just so grateful that this platform continues to grow and grow. We have new partnerships. We have new people interested in coming on board. We have more people who are interested in advertising. So thank you again for helping us make this journey. And thank you personally from me for being loyal to our platform, for sharing the word, letting other people know about it. My ask would be that you support us as a team, and also me personally, in purchasing Adversity to Awesome, so that we help other people share their stories. Right now, the Kindle version is available. You can pre-order, and it's 99 cents. Yes. What can you get for 99 cents that's going to change your life like this? So just go over to Amazon, purchase your pre-order your copy of Adversity to Awesome, and the paperback will be available tomorrow when we launch it on our live book launch show, which is at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, 8 p.m. British Summer Time, and 9 p.m. Central European Time. We'll look forward to seeing you there. Right now, I'm going to say goodbye and go over to the other studio and produce the show for Roland for Talking Heads. Bye for now. Thank you.